Hello and welcome to our Xbox Division 2 here at Monaco tonight, round number 6, I think. Yeah, number 6. We are in for a safety car filled Grand Prix. Front wings are plentiful in every pit box. This is going to be a wild race. Monaco is definitely known to give us multiple safety cars and just destroy the hearts of our drivers. It is such a hard track to get right for 36 straight laps that I would not doubt if many of our drivers have to pit multiple times tonight, at least 3 or 4 times. The ones that only have to do a one stop tonight, they are just on another level and have somehow mastered Monaco. But out of the pits, I believe that is George 1997. Yes, it is. So he'll be leading off our drivers here tonight. And first and foremost, just want to thank all you guys that are tuning in right at the start of the stream. You guys are awesome. We love you. Want to give the stream a like? Be greatly appreciated. Subscribe as well. And hopefully we can provide some great and entertaining racing tonight here at Monaco. And as we wait for our drivers to start their laps, just a quick update on the standings. Marlin is currently sitting in P1, followed by TRC Platinum in second. Ronan's in third, followed by Indian Cyclone in fourth. Easy Breeze in fifth, and then Money Hustard in sixth, followed by Father Corn, Tazonic, George 1997, and Mex Facitas in 10th, rounding off the top 10. When it comes to the constructor standings, Racing Point currently has the lead with 130 points. Alfa Romeo follows him very far behind with only 84, with McLaren and Haas, then Red Bull in third, fourth, and fifth respectively, followed by Mercedes, Williams, Renault, and Toro Rosso. And with no points yet this season is Ferrari in P10, and it actually looks like we don't have a single Ferrari tonight. Our only 2 drivers not to show are the Ferrari drivers, so they will not be picking up any points once again. They are definitely looking to outclass Williams in real life from last season, where they won't even score a single point, instead of Williams' sole 1 point that they captured at the German Grand Prix this previous F1 season. But here comes George 1997. He's round through Sector 2, out the tunnel. Does a good job not to cut the corner there. Losing quite a bit of time though off of exit. Be very careful not to tap the wall right there. And so far so good for George. We'll see what time he crosses the line with. He is on the soft compound tires here on the Williams. And that will be a 111.9 from George 1997. DGM has invalidated his life. He's invalidated his life, folks. And there's Weiler Square with a 112.6. George the Fraud and the other Williams with a 111.3. Very well done by him. Indian Cyclone tops that though with a 110.9. All these drivers besides Weiler Square all on the soft compound tires. And here comes White Mike across the line. That's going to be a 112.1 on the soft, so that's going to put him in provisional 4th place. So very well done from him. We're going to take it on board now with Big Mr. Brown, who is finishing off the end of his lap. He is on the medium tires. Shortly behind him is the Alfa Romeo of, I believe, TRC Platinum, who is 2nd place currently in the constructor standings. Big Mr. Brown will set a 113.1, whereas TRC Platinum puts himself to P2 with a 110.9. Well done from him. And shortly following them is 252 White Meat with a 113.0, as Ronan goes 111.7 on the mediums. We have drivers everywhere setting laps. I believe most of these guys up front are all hopping the pits. They are. Oh, and what is this? Big Mr. Brown has parked it. Platinum has to reverse out. Luckily, no penalty is given to those guys. They'll take it out with our guys on their outlaps. I believe Tazonic is the leader of this group, so we'll stick it on board with him here in the Mercedes. Tazonic winding up for the start of his lap. Going through turn 1. As Jeff will probably tell all of our drivers tonight, no heroics to Santava, which I completely mispronounced, but I don't care. But now rounding through turns 3 and 4 through the casino square. And it has to be said, Tazonic is starting off on the hards here for his first flying lap and qualifying. Interesting decision. Connecting it through the hairpin. And now through the tunnel goes the Merc. What a beautiful sight to see. And out the tunnel now. Through turns 10 and 11. Doing a great job there on entry and exit. Tazonic looking to be on a good lap right now. However, being on the hards probably be a slower lap just compared to the softer compound times that have already been put in. Taps the wall just a little bit, but no harm doing there. And we'll see what Tazonic ends up crossing the line at on this lap. As there'll be a 113.4 on the hards. Not bad for a banker lap there from Taz. Looks like Marlon has invalidated his lap. He's going to be hopping into the pits. Going board with his teammate Money Hustler getting his lap. Ronan really getting in his way right there. That's definitely going to hurt his time. That's unfortunate for Money Hustler. But he will cross the line NP8 with a 112.4. So not too bad for a first lap. Definitely room for improvement there for him. So I believe, where is Platinum now? We will take this on board with Jord the Fraud. I believe his teammate actually, ooh, what is Don't Get Mad doing? He is completely parked it on circuit. Now on board with Jord's 1997, who's about to start another lap in the toothpaste colored Williams. See LDR Redeemer coming out of the tunnel. Out of turns 10 and 11. Going purple through sector 2. I think the game might be lying to us. We'll see what LDR ends up setting. That's going to be him diving into the pits, and no time set for him. Looks like Wilder Square might be, he's going to be coming in the pits actually. So we'll take it down to TRC Platinum, who has invalidated his lap, unfortunately, so he won't be able to best Indian Cyclone quite yet. Here is White Mike, currently on his lap, sitting P10, so right on the bubble, and he's now P11 after Money Hustler sets a 110.8. Just half a tenth away from Indian Cyclone in P1. So Cyclone, Money Hustard, and TRC Platinum all on relatively same speed and pace, it looks like, here in qualifying. As we will now see what White Mike ends up crossing the line at. Engaged DRS very late on his lap. That's definitely going to cost some time. That is now P7 for the Toro Rosso driver with a 111.4. As Marlon Conga is finally looking to set a lap. To across the line in provisional 8th place with a 111.6, barely topping Mex Fositas. It looks like White Meat will be hopping in the pits. Yes, he will. Easy Breeze is finally looking to set a lap for himself there in the Haas. One of our race winners from, I believe it was Baku, that Easy Breeze won. I don't quite remember, but he has already won one race so far this season. Maybe looking to get another W for himself. And that will be P64 George 1997 setting a 1:11.0, almost breaking it into the tens. Unfortunately, he could not see what Sprightly can do here. He's our last remaining driver not to set a time, getting it very wrong through the final exit right there. And that might be that's P17 for Sprightly in the Renault. Very unfortunate for the Banana Boat boy. Looks like Big Mr. Brown again on another lap as my LT button is spamming. It looks like Platinum is going very slow. Looks like all our drivers are setting to do their final laps here in qualifying. Looks like McFossitas is about to cross the line, and that will be P8 for the Renault driver with a 1:11.4 on the softs. Very well done by him. We now have Money Hustard looking to cross the line and cannot improve on his time. His teammate of Marlin as well looks to be starting his lap as he is. As Jord the Fraud now sitting a 1:10.4 for P1 provisionally. Very well done there by the Williams driver. That's why the square unfortunately is hopping into the pits. And Mex Fossitas has retired. Looks like he completely bent it. George 1997 has retired as well, followed by Big Mr. Brown in the McLaren. And yep, there it is. What a sight to see. We will not go back because that was some adult imagery right there as the Renault and McLaren were getting it on through Sector 3 out of the swimming pool chicane. But there is P5 for Money Hustler with a 1:10.9 on his lap. We'll go on board. Don't get mad. Looks to be getting out of the way. White Mike has invalidated his lap. Don't get mad. Just hopping into the pits. Tazonic looks to be the last driver right here to be setting a lap. I could be wrong. Looks like LDR Redeemer is just quite a bit ahead of those guys. We'll second board here with Redeemer, who's currently only in 15th place. Let's see if he can put himself in the top 10. I believe that time, however, was set on the mediums. So he might be flying here on the softs. Just wants to stay away from the walls and avoid any corner cutting. And out the final turn comes Redeemer, and he will set P5 with a 1:10.8. Well done there from Redeemer. It looks like Tazonic unfortunately has invalidated his lap, as he'll just come across the finish line one more time and destroy his front wing. So that is the end of qualifying. Jord the Fraud 98 in the Williams setting a stellar 1:10.4 for P1, followed by TRC Platinum with a 1:10.7 in P2. Indian Cyclone P3 with a 1:10.8, and Ronin as well 1:10.8. LDR Redeemer 1:10.8. Money Hustard 1:10.8, and Cyclone has opted to park his car and remove his left front tire. But second right through 6th place, just a 10th separating those guys. And then you put in 7th as well with Marlon Conga. That is just 2 tenths separating these drivers. That is unbelievable, as we're just going to keep it right here on Indian Cyclone. What a beautiful image for the McLaren driver who qualified P3. And there we have it. Jord the Fraud completely outclassing the rest of the field here in qualifying, putting himself in a prime position. First place. Hopefully he stays out of all the trouble. Can build himself a gap. The second all the way through. Ninth place. Very, very close from all those drivers. And riding off the top 10 is the Renault of Max Fositas. So it looks like we are in store for quite the race tonight here in Xbox Division 2. And as we wait for our drivers to load up and start the formation lap, get into their grid boxes, we will take a quick 1-minute break here on stream, and I'll be right back with you guys for the start of the race. Once again, I'm PPR Nick, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope it'll be another fantastic race again tonight. And we are back. So before we start the race, I want to hear everyone in the chat, who do you think will come out on top and who will be our podium finishers tonight? I mean, Monaco can really provide anything to anybody, so I will not count out a single one of our drivers tonight, because no matter pace, you might get the benefit of a safety car, the benefit of keeping it clean. And some drivers up front might get some unfortunate things coming their way. So we will have to see. However, I don't wish any of that upon any of our drivers. However, that just seems to be the beast that is Monaco. As our drivers are now rounding about Sector 3 and about to put their cars in their nice little semi-square white line boxes, and we'll get ready to race. We already have 4 guys who unfortunately did not get to do the formation lap. They will be starting on extremely cold tires. While everyone's tires that got to do the formation lap will feel like California in the winter, there are other drivers that are currently sitting on the grid unable to do their formation lap. Their tires are going to be feeling like the Midwest in the winter. But here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And TRC Platinum has jumped the start. He wants to stay out of all trouble possible. But here we go for the start of Xbox Division 2. Currently everybody through the grid, keeping it pretty clean. I believe that was Don't Get Mad getting a little bit of contact there, but Platinum is off to the races. And shortly behind him is Jordan the Fraud. Ronan in third. We're going 3 wide. That's a big squeeze there. And George's now found himself in 9th place. All of our drivers struggling to get it through the hairpin. Going very, very slow. But here's Platinum. Unfortunately, he does have a drive-through penalty, but he definitely got the best start out of anyone because he ignored the red lights. And shortly behind him is the Williams of Jordan the Fraud. And then Ronan in P3. Indian Cyclone not sitting too far back in 4th. And then the teammate of Ronan, LDR Redeemer, currently sitting in 5th. As now our timing charts start to fall through. White Meat looking at a move there through turn 1 on Marlon. Nothing really doing there for him. It's going to be very hard for any of our drivers to make an overtake, as we already have both the Renaults in the pits, followed by Tazonic as well. So that is an unfortunate start for their race, but just seems to be what comes when you are racing at Monaco. 2 racing points, currently sitting 6th and 7th respectively. Looking to pick up some good points as they look to be on for a 1-2 finish last week, but unfortunately that did not come to suit. It looks like Money Hustler is going to take a peek at Redeemer. Just realizing he doesn't have enough space. I mean, if you want to make a move through turn 10, you really got to be side by side. I hope the driver on the outside doesn't squeeze you into the barrier, and Money Hustler just wasn't confident enough that that wasn't going to happen. So he's now going to sit right behind Redeemer still, with his teammate following. TRC Platinum is now set a 1:13.7. Oh, and Money Hustler getting very wobbly out the final turn and allowing his teammate of Marlon Conga. Oh, as this looks like White Meat has retired, and that is very unfortunate, as now the coach is stuck right behind him. The coach unfortunately picking up a 5-second time penalty from that, and another 5-second time penalty, even though White Meat is definitely retired. And out is the safety car, as that is very unfortunate for White Meat, and definitely for the coach, who was on the short end of the stick. As George 1997 now picking up a 3-second time penalty. See if any of our drivers opt to come into the pits, as we are now already 1 safety car into our 39-lap race. And the coach, once again, that is a 3-second time penalty. So he's picked up 13 seconds worth of time penalties just within 1 lap, as LDR Redeemer is hopping in the pits. Money Hustler as well. See what tires they decide to put on. Platinum is now caught up to the safety car. So we'll wait just for all of our guys to enter the pits. Looks like Don't Get Mad as well. George 1997 entering the pits. All those guys opting for the medium tires. Money Hustler with the hards, and Don't Get Mad on the softs. Big Mr. Brown picking up a 3-second time penalty. How you pick up a time penalty during a safety car, I don't quite understand, but he has. So that will definitely hurt him by the end of the race. But so far, 4 laps through, Platinum is P1 and just picked up a 10-second time penalty for not really doing anything. He already has a drive-through, and now he has a 10-second time penalty, and that might have to be looked at by the stewards post-race. Jordan the Fraud, P2, followed by Ronan, P3. Indian Cyclone sits there in P4, followed by the Racing Point of Marlon Conga White Mike now, P6, slowly creeping up the grid is the Toro Rosso driver, as well as Easy Breeze and the number 69 Haas sitting P7. Wiser Square, the other Toro Rosso, sitting in P8. Big Mr. Brown in P9, and LBR Redeemer after his pit coming out in P10, so might be looking very well for Redeemer if he can make this work out for him. We'll hop back on board here with TRC Platinum. We just wait for our remaining few drivers of, looks like Tazonic, Sprightly, McFossitas, and the coach all to catch up with the safety car queue. That way the safety car can register itself to come in and we can get back to racing. Oh, and how I love safety car action. Maybe some of the most brilliant racing I have ever seen. I mean, just look how the Mercedes holds off this Alfa Romeo. Platinum has nothing going for himself. It's almost as if he just cannot pass the AMG in front of him, as unfortunately we will have another outing of this safety car, so hopefully it will come in this lap as the coach is just taking a nice little stroll now as he's exiting turn 12. Looks like Big Mr. Brown now has opted to hop into the pits. That may prolong our safety car, unfortunately. He's putting on the hard compound tires, maybe looking to go till the end. That is quite the strategy change. And a feat within itself if that's what he's looking to do. We'll just take it on board with the coach at the very back end of the grid. Looks like he's finally going to catch up with everybody after realizing that he has to put his foot on the throttle for his car to go forward. And he is now caught up to the safety car queue. That is very good to see. So it looks like we should be back to racing this upcoming lap. Hopefully the safety car does register to come in. We've now been under safety car for 3 laps now. So half of our race, we have just had to watch the yellow lights flash on top of that AMG and tell the rest of our grid that you have to go very slow. And yeah. What? Yep, there we go. Safety car in this lap. Thank you, Cody's. And we'll stick on board with Platinum. See when he decides to take off on this lap. As the leader does act as the safety car and gets to start whenever at the start. Oh, and there goes Platinum in the pits. Very wisely done by him. He does have to serve that stop and go penalty. So that will now promote the Williams of George the Fraud into P1. The rest of our drivers falling very far behind as White Mike is now in P5, followed by Easy Breeze right behind. As Platinum has been disqualified from the session for ignoring drive-through penalty. However, he just served his drive-through penalty. I believe that's what he was doing in the pits. I'm very confused as to why he got disqualified. There must be a glitch within Cody's, but that's unfortunate as he is second place in the points, and Marlon Conga, who is first, his rival, is sitting in fourth, so Platinum's going to lose a lot of points if Marlon can keep up what he's doing so far in the race. That is very unfortunate by him. Take it down onto George, 1997. Doesn't look like he has anything going for him against the other Racing Point of Money Hustard. So he'll just sit back in P10. Ronan now is looking at the gearbox of Jord the Fraud. If Red Bull really does give you wings, Ronan will activate his own and just fly right over the top of the Williams, because there is almost absolutely no way to overtake here at Monaco. So Ronan, drink that Red Bull, give yourself some wings, and just fly out of the tunnel and overtake for P1. That's my advice. 1,000 IQ strat right there, brought to you by PPR Nick. But nothing going for Ronan through turn 10. Very late on the brakes. Hopefully he doesn't pick up a 10-second time penalty. He does not. It's definitely be a corner cut, however. Take it now down to White Mike, who is slowly gaining on the racing point of Marlon Conga. But nothing doing there for the Toro Rosso driver. He's actually falling back now. However, his teammate of Wiser Square is getting very close to Easy Breeze. DRS is now enabled. Wiser Square is still looking at the back of that Haas. LDR Redeemer is going to catch up with the rest of this as well. Money Hustard shortly following behind them, as well as the Williams of George 1997, not too far back in 11th. Is Don't Get Mad in the Haas. And there goes LDR Redeemer, completely bending it. And it actually looks like he kept his front wing. So that'll be P14 for him, as Jord the Fraud is now hopping into the pits. So that's promoting White Mike now into 4th, Easy Breeze in 5th, and White Mike's teammate Wiser Square into 6th. White Mike is almost in podium places, as he is very close behind Marlon Conga. And White Mike, as well has to be said, is on the medium, so strategy-wise, this is going very well for the Toro Rosso driver, as the coach and Sprightly also have both entered the pits. Redeemer as well, so he must have picked up some type of damage, or his tires were just completely on fire. Oh, and White Mike catching a lot of understeer right there, losing a lot of time to Marlon. Easy Breeze now catching up just a little bit, as well as Wiser Square right behind them, as Ronan now sits P1, Any Cycle in P2, and Marlon Conga in P3. So our top three, definitely nothing like it looked like after qualifying, as TRC Platinum has already been disqualified, and I'm unfortunately forgetting, oh, Jord the Fraud as well is P11. He was on pole. Easy Breeze defending on the inside. Very interesting that Wiser Square breaks so early for that. Definitely had enough room to catch on the gap. But White Mike is now promoting himself into P3. Marlon Conga falling back massively to these guys. Easy Breeze looks at a peak on the inside. Very hard to do to coach, picking up a 3-second time penalty in the hairpin these drivers go. And it definitely looks like those softs of Marlon's are definitely falling off. Easy Breeze not getting the best exit he would have wanted, and that's giving Wiser Square time to attack. See if he opts to go for a Max Verstappen-like dive. He does not, as the coach has now retired, but retired in the pits, and it unfortunately looks like, no, his AI will not be coming out. That is very good. So the coach has called it a day, and multiple time penalties being given to our drivers. Indian Cyclone Oh, looks like Ronan hopping into the pits. Marlon as well, so Easy Breeze will now be promoted up. Wiser Square as well. And the Racing Points sit 5th and 6th respectively. Tazonic as well hopping up. Wiser Square is now still chasing the Haas of Easy Breeze. White Mike now finds himself in P2. Ending Cyclone in P1, who's doing quite a good job preserving his softs as he spent 11 laps on those tires. As it looks like we may have quite the battle right here. Oh, we just missed it. But it looks like Marlon Conga got squeezed just a little bit there by McFossitas. And Marlon now, after exiting the pits, has already lost a majority of his front wing. That is unfortunate for him. Don't Get Mad has retired from the session. Let's see if we can pick him up. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we will. There is a VSC. Where is the Toro Rosso driver? Unfortunately, he is at the end of Sector 1. Ending Cyclone picking up a 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So unfortunately, this VSC will not help him at all. But White Mike is in P1 and has quite the gap on Easy Breeze, who sits in P2. This is looking very good for the Toro Rosso team. Wiser Square as well in P3, and Money Hustler shortly behind him in P4. But White Mike now has a 4-second gap in P1. So it is looking very, very promising for the Toro Rosso team. Just under halfway through this race, Redeemer has also picked up a 3-second time penalty. And look at it, the McLaren boys, P7 and P8, looking to pick up some decent points tonight, as we already have 4 DNFs, 13 laps in. So that is very unfortunate to see, but definitely something you can assume happening at Monaco, as Marlon unfortunately has to go back into the pits after losing his wing, and he'll now be in 14th place. As George the Fraud is trying his hardest to find any sort of gap to pass up Money Hustler. And Money Hustler will actually hop into the pits and will pick up a 5-second time penalty, which is very easy to do here for some drivers. It's just a quick turn in, but that is now George the Fraud into P4. Ending Cyclone has now promoted himself into P5. Ronan, Big Mr. Brown also picking up places, as well as Mick Fossitas. They are all gaining after the stops of Money Hustler and Tazonic. But let's just take a moment. White Mike currently sitting in P1. Like I said before the start of the race, anything can happen in Monaco. And really, any of our drivers that currently sit on the grid could find themselves in P1. And currently, the Toro Rosso driver of White Mike has been that driver who found himself in P1. Now it is up to him to handle the pressure and not throw it into the wall like he almost did. And here comes his teammate Wiser Square, looking maybe to make a 1-2 for the Toro Rosso boys tonight. It could very well be possible. As engaging DRS is Wiser Square, definitely not going to have enough room to make any type of lunge through turn 1, but he is slowly gaining on the Haas of Easy Breeze. And also, here comes George the Fraud 98 with fresher medium tires than the top 3, who have all yet to pit, I believe. As yes, we'll go ahead and look at the stops so far in the race. Yeah, top 3, none of them have yet to pit. Everyone from Exfositas on down to Marlon Conga have either stopped 3 or 2 times. That's unfortunate for those guys, but we will see how long the top 3 can stay out. They will definitely start to struggle with tire wear. However, Easy Breeze should be able to go on just a little bit longer than our medium runners since he is on the hards. We'll see what he can do from there. But very well done by those top 3 and Jor the Fraud as well, who qualified on pole, definitely has the pace. However, he will have to stop at least one more time in this race. Oh, and that is unfortunate for Wiser Square, who's picked up damage. Easy Breeze now catching a lot of the wall. And unfortunately for Jord, I don't think he picked up any wing damage there. It doesn't look like he did. But that's now going to be Toro Rosso 1-2. However, Wiser Square now with the wing damage might think about pitting this lap, as he should be coming up on his pit window anyways. But Jord the Fraud is just right behind these guys. He definitely has the better pace, and yeah, it looks like Easy Breeze as well picked up wing damage after making contact with the wall just before the hairpin. So he could definitely hold back Jord the Fraud here. See if these guys opt to go into the pits. Nope, Wiser Square staying out, but Easy Breeze is coming in, so that's going to promote Jord the Fraud into P3. So we currently have a Toro Rosso 1-2, almost halfway through this race. See how far Easy Breeze ends up dropping. Looks like probably P7. Make that P8 as Tazonic Sprightly. Anyone else going to pick up a 3-second time penalty? Nope, that looks like it's going to be it. But Ronan out chasing the McLaren of Indian Cyclone for 4th place as they come through the hairpin. If there's going to be anyone that pulls a Max Verstappen, it's definitely going to be Ronan. Ironically enough, he is in the Red Bull. He is a driver that leaves it out all on the track. But even he knows he doesn't have enough room right there, as we see Indian Cyclone completely obliterate turn 10 and 11 and pick up a 3-second time penalty, but creating a slight bit of a gap from Ronan. But the Toro Rosso driver is flying. The Sprightly picks up another 3-second time penalty in less than half a lap. Sprightly, what are you doing? That's gotta watch the corners. I don't know how you picked that up so quickly, but he did. That is unfortunate for him. They'll take once again another look at the stops. So Toro Rosso drivers yet to pit. We'll see. Hopefully they're communicating with each other so they don't end up double stacking. But they've both yet to pit. Indian Cyclone, Ronan, Jor the Fraud, all on one stop. Max Fositas has 3 stops in, and he's P6. So that is very amazing, as Big Mr. Brown and Easy Breeze both only have 1 stops, and they're still behind a Renault that has pitted 3 times in 18 laps. So well done by Exfositas for figuring a way out to make his stops really count and not hurt his time on track. As Sprightly now has retired from the session. Looks like he did retire in the pits. So he just called it a day. So we now only have 13 drivers remaining out of the 18 that started this race. And Ronan is trying his best to get past Indian Cyclone, but just can't seem to do it. Like I said, and really everyone knows, Monaco is the hardest track on the F1 calendar to overtake. There's almost no room to fit your cars. However, Jord the Fraud might be looking to change that, as he is now caught up very closely to Wiser Square and slowly breaking in on this gap. And with 50% fresher tires, definitely has the pace. as we'll see if White Mike or Wiser Square opt to hop into the pits at all this lap. Looks like Ronan is still right behind Indian Cyclone, gaining just a little bit, as it looks like Easy Breeze now pulled up and passed Big Mr. Brown, who had quite the gap. Definitely probably had a mistake go for him. He's now fallen into P8, and there goes Wiser Square in the pits. See how far he drops in. Big Mr. Brown has shunted it into the wall. He might end up throwing it into the pits himself. But White Mike, 19 laps in on the mediums, has done very well for himself. Halfway through this race, George the Fraud is looking to catch him as quickly as possible. However, White Mike still having the pit will put him in provisional P1. But Tazonic now right behind George the Fraud's teammate, George's 1997 in the Williams. And he is all over the gearbox of that toothpaste car. And LDR Redeemer as well. Nice little battle going for P9. And there goes White Mike as he now enters the pits. See where he falls back, presuming right next to Wiser Square. See if the overcut or the undercut, which one will be better for the Toro Rosso driver. Looks like White Mike will exit in P6. Very well above his teammate of Wiser Square. That is very interesting. Wiser Square must have had something go on. Maybe, oh, he did need a front wing change. That will definitely explain the time gap. But Tazonic now losing time. LDR Redeemer just completely throwing it into the wall. I don't think his front wing touched at all. Just his rear tire, so there shouldn't be any wing damage for the Red Bull driver, but he is just sending it right now. But still nothing going for a Redeemer, as I feel like I've said that a lot for really all of our drivers, and Redeemer nearly throwing into the wall. Once again, he is definitely losing some grip on those mediums, maybe even overheating them just a little bit, as he's losing his car all over the place now. But Tazonic still very close to George 1997, who is in 9th place. As Marlin has picked up a 3-second time penalty. He currently sits in 12th. Tazonic beating his current best lap time, catching right up to George. See if he can do anything coming out the tunnel. Maybe a dive bomb into turn 10. That is what I'm waiting to see. But George does get the better exit, so it doesn't look like Tazonic's going to give me any Max Verstappen-like dive bombs. Now on down to Money Hustard for the battle for P3. McFossitas and P4. These guys are very close to one another as they exit out of turn number 1. As now George 1997 has entered the pits just 10 laps in, or well, now it's saying 8. I don't know what kind of laps. Cody's just showing me everything on the timing board. But Mexfasitas, is this the chance? He might be too far back from Ronan. However, it would be very ironic if he tries to dive bomb a Red Bull, as I've been talking about Max Verstappen a lot. He does! He looks for it! Oh, but it wasn't there. And that's definitely going to be in the steward report later tonight. Ronan is definitely going to be screaming right now into his headset. And Mexfasitas going to lose a lot of time. Money Hustler's now already put himself into P4. However, Ronan does have to pit again, so this might not hurt him too much. He opts to stay out. I don't think he'll be able to make the softs last this long, so we'll definitely have to hop on the mediums if he does pit next lap. Mexfasitas definitely hops in the pits to replace his front wing. As I was waiting for the dive bomb, and it came, but just wasn't enough room for the Renault driver, so let the stewards handle that post-race. Now here comes Money Hustler. Is he going to take a dive at Ronan? He does, and I mean, they leave enough space, and I mean, that's a clean overtake there by Money Hustler. Very well done by him. Ronan gave him the space, and Money Hustler took it, so he has now put himself into P3, and that is currently a podium for the Racing Point team, as now it's going to be White Mike's turn, who's looking to gain back all of his places he lost after his pit stop. And it has to be said that he's currently provisionally first place, as assuming that all of our drivers in front of him still have to make another stop, because it is going to be very hard for them to make those mediums last. However, Money Hustler might be able to do it on his current set of tires, as looks like Marlon Conga might have lost it because Mexfasitas has made a move on him. But here comes White Mike on Ronan. Ronan is completely ignoring the fact that he has wing damage, and he is still going strong. I can't blame him. Hopefully he doesn't hold back any of the drivers behind him, but Easy Breeze also flying right behind White Mike. And Jordan the Fraud 98 is picking up a time penalty. That is 3 seconds to be added by the end of the race. Easy Breeze and White Mike looking like they might be 1-2 after the stops from P1 through 4. Both obviously be on different tires. White Mike on the hards, 4 laps in. Easy Breeze on the mediums, 8 laps in. See how those strategies play out for these guys. George again has come into the pits. Maybe for another front wing or just for a cup of tea. Can't really tell by now, but there's Ronan now sending it into the pits for a much needed wing change. So White Mike now P4, Easy Breeze in the Haas P5. These guys look like they might be battling out until the end of the race, or until Easy Breeze's tires completely give out on him. But currently Jordan the Fraud in P1, Indian Cyclone in P2, and Money Hustler P3. Jordan the Fraud, I don't know if he's going to be able to make those mediums last till the end of the race. He's already 16 laps in, and Easy Breeze, oh, he got stuck. He got stuck at the hairpin. That was very weird. But, I mean, White Mike has already picked up 6.5 seconds now from the Haas driver, and the other Toro Rosso of Weiler Square now is looking to attack all on the Haas driver of Easy Breeze. So he loses trying to overtake one Toro Rosso, and now right behind him shows up another looking to attack him. Easy Breeze just can't get away from the wings of the Red Bull at all. And yeah, to all reviewers, I got stuck at the hairpin. That was very odd to see. I mean, welcome to F1 2019. That's really all I have to say about that. But currently, Jordan Fraud still going strong on his tires, as well as Cyclone and Money Hustard. Money Hustard with the fresher tires from the two drivers in front of him. But still, Wiser Square attacking Easy Breeze. See if he goes for a Max Verstappen-like dive. Oh, Easy Breeze looked to defend the inside. Maybe, oh, there's a safety car for... Why is there a safety car? Unless I am completely blind and I have missed something. This might be terrible for White Mike, Easy Breeze, and Wiser Square. It's now giving the top three a chance to pit. However, it doesn't look like any of them had the chance to do so before the pit stop. Oh, and White Mike's coming into the pits. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why White Mike's coming into the pits. If I was him, I might have stayed out, but we'll see how this plays out for him. Looks like Redeemer as well. Tazonic. Marlin's hopping into the pits. Yeah, if I'm White Mike, I'm definitely staying out since, I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to overtake a whole bunch of guys in front of you. So he might have gave away a podium finish. We'll have to wait and see. Now taking on board here with Jordan Fraud, see if he opts to come into the pits. And I'm still very confused as to why we had a safety car come out as Money Hustard picks up a drive-through penalty. Because I don't think there was any DNFs, even within the past few laps, that would have brought one out. I don't know, if someone in the chat would like to explain to me why we have a safety car right now with no crash, I would love to hear why, because I didn't see anything coming out of that. But Indian Cyclone now, P1, Money Hustard is also opted to come in the pits. Easy Breeze still pretty far behind these guys. See if he opts to stay out on the mediums. He will stay out on the mediums. Wiser Square as well. McFossitas staying out. It's still showing me that White Mike is 20 laps in on medium tires. Did they just put on the oldest set of mediums he had on his car? He definitely would have wanted to pit for the softs. There's just a whole bunch going on right now that doesn't make any type of sense. But yeah, it looks like White Mike has opted for the I don't want to finish in the podium strat, and his team said, hey, no problem, we can do that for you. We'll put on the set of tires you started this race on, and good luck going till the finish, because that's what it looks like is happening to White Mike. That's very unfortunate for him, as I was pulling for him very unbiasedly to get a podium tonight. But doesn't look like it's going to be possible. However, his teammate of Wiser Square might be able to sneak one through, as we are now 29 laps in of this 39 lap race at Monaco with our like 2.5 safety car. As White Mike has also picked up a 3-second time penalty, as I am just gutted for him, as everything now is going wrong for him at the end of this race. As it definitely looks like Cyclone is opting for the defend for my life strategy the final few laps, as Jordan Fraud, our fastest driver on track with the freshest set of softs, barring Money Hustard in 5th place, is going to be right behind him. So if I'm Indian Cyclone, I am quietly making my race suit just a little wet, and trying not to add the brown stuff. But he is going to have to defend for his life on 17 lap old mediums. I mean, it's going to be a feat in itself if he can make them last till the end of the race. And if he does, I mean, hats off. And if he finishes in P1, I mean, even more power to him. But this is almost an impossible feat for the McLaren driver. But we'll see if it works out for him and if he can just park his car on the apexes. As the safety car is in this lap, we will have 8 laps remaining until the white flag. Any Cyclone gets to choose when we start. See if George the Fraud can prance on this opportunity, being on the fresher tires, as Any Cyclone is off, getting a horrible exit, and George the Fraud following very closely behind him. So it is going to be a battle for P1 as, oh, wide square, and a McLaren of Big Mr. Brown. Actually, looks like Big Mr. Brown was just getting out the way. Thought there was going to be a battle right there. Ronan, a 3-second time penalty picked up. And George the Fraud now, they're going to have to find a way to get through Indian Cyclone, as he just parked it in the middle of the track, knowing there is not enough room on the outside or inside to make a move. So he's going to have to be very strategic in the way that he places his car, because George the Fraud is coming for P number 1. And he dives it down the inside. There's the Max Verstappen move I thought would come. Completely cuts every corner and doesn't pick up a time penalty either. But that is now P1 for George the Fraud and P2 for Indian Cyclone. I mean, it was bound to happen at any point. And now Easy Breeze might be his turn. However, he's also on very old tires. Wide square as well, but Money Hustard sitting very well on the softs. Could he somehow find himself on the podium spots? That's the question. That'll be answered in 7 laps of time. So it is getting very spicy here at the end of the race. Money Hustard now right on the gearbox of that Toro Rosso driver. Toro Rosso at one point looked to have a 1-2 finish in this race, and that looks like they might not even have a car on the podium. And very sad to see for those guys. Max Fositas as well getting in on this battle. Wide square completely outbraking himself, giving Money Hustard room to make the pass, and Money Hustard very wisely not shunting himself into the wall. That is P4 for him. Max Fositas now right behind the Toro Rosso driver of Wide Square. Wide Square breaks very early, and that might be wing damage for Max Fositas. They're going to go too wide the final exit. That is not a smart idea. Max Fositas now losing lots of places. Now we have a bunch of cars side by side. White Mike has now found himself into P5. Ronan P6, Tazonic P7, McFositas P8. LGR Redeemer very shortly behind them in P9, as well as Marlon Conga in P10. This is quite the battle at the end of the race. Almost going too wide through a turn for the Casino Square, but nothing doing there for LDR Redeemer, as they now all have to park it at the hairpin. And looks like Marlon Conga, he did make contact with Big Mr. Brown, but Big Mr. Brown is currently a lap down. LDR Redeemer getting sideways. Marlon might be, there's a VSC for, I don't know who, actually. Going up the grid, sorry for spamming, but doesn't look like really pick up anyone. Don't see anything on the track map. Just a random VSC here. And yes, to Ollies in the chat, it's not even March, but there's definitely madness going on circuit. Did LDR Redeemer pick up a place under safety car? He may have, but we didn't catch it on stream, as the back three are now all opting in the pits. Marlon has retired. Looked to have a points finish, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be the case whatsoever. So George the Fraud is sitting very well in P1 if he can keep it on track and clean. Looks like he is going to get the race win. Indian Cyclone, however, is going to have to defend for his life. against Easy Breeze, and also hope not to get a puncture because he has gone very long on those mediums. It also has to be said for White Mike, who's now sitting in P5. The Toro Rossos share P4 and P5 respectively. But White Mike, unfortunately, his team putting on the tires he started the race on to finish out the race is 26 laps in now on those mediums, and they are probably screaming at him, as it looks like Ronan might be taking the opportunity to overtake the sister team for P5. They had Ronan around the outside. Very easily done on White Mike, whose tires are screaming bloody murder. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that since we're on YouTube, and that might get this taken down. He is screaming bloody coffee. As Tazonic is now already taking a peek at him. Tazonic, unfortunately, catching the inside of the barrier there. As Jordan the Fraud has now brought his gap out to 10 seconds. Ronan now taking a peek at the other sister team driver of Wiser Square, and doesn't send it, unfortunately, as I would love to see some drivers just completely send it here on the final few laps. Oh, but that's front wing damage for Ronan, something he has been accustomed to this race. But there goes Tazonic on White Mike. White Mike's tires, he doesn't have a puncture, does he? Doesn't look like he does. But the other Red Bull driver, and White Mike has to dive in the pits. His tires are completely gone, and he could take himself out of a points finish. And there goes Wiser Square, his teammate. The Toro Rosso team is completely falling apart, as now Ronan's picked up another spot for P4, and Wiser Square falling down to P5. That's unfortunate for the Toro Rosso team, because they were definitely the team to root for early on in this race, even halfway through, as they were going on very strong, but doesn't look to be so at the end, as Easy Breeze still sitting fairly far behind Indian Cyclone, who's sitting in P2. But let's just take a moment to appreciate Jordan the Fraud in that Williams, as he has driven a stellar race so far. With just 3 laps remaining, he sits in P1 by over 12 seconds. So very well done by him, and it looks like he might just be cruising it on to the finish. As Money Hustard is very close to the Red Bull driver of LDR Redeemer. See if he can pick up another spot. Big Mr. Brown picking up another time penalty. There have been many tonight, and even if I had a co-commentator with me to check the penalties, we probably couldn't name all of them off for you on stream. Money Hustler taking a peek down the inside, but nothing going for him, as TOC Platinum has left the race, or left the session, after getting disqualified on lap 5, 6, or 7, or one of those laps very early on the race. So, yeah, that he stayed to watch just a little bit, or a lot of it, I should say. But here comes Money Hustard. Is he going to make the dive? I pray that he does, but he makes contact with the wall, looks on the outside of Redeemer. Redeemer holding very strong, but completely cutting the corner. Definitely gaining some time right there from the racing point. But looks like Redeemer did have a corner cut penalty to spare, as he didn't pick up any type of penalties. So he should still be fine. McFossy tossover is not, and that is another 3-second time penalty for him. Looks like all the battles have calmed down after our safety car, and then after the VSC following that. as we now just have 2 laps remaining. Money Hustard, however, is still trying his hardest to catch up with Redeemer, and unfortunately, there is a blue. That is not a blue flag. That is Tazonic. For some reason, my eyes saw a Renault, and that is actually a Mercedes. I might be colorblind, and I might have just found that out right now, because Mercedes are definitely not yellow whatsoever. But here comes Money Hustard. Thief Redeemer just decides to cut the corner again. He does not. Ronan picks up a 3-second time penalty. We are on the final lap of the race. George the Fraud is running away with it. Currently 13.5 seconds ahead. And there is a yellow. Who was that just went off? Unfortunately, we couldn't pick it up. But Ronan is now P3. Looks like that had to have been Easy Breeze, because he was sitting in P3. Ronan might have found himself on the podium spots out of nowhere, and here comes Weiser Square now. He might be able to pick up P4 from Easy Breeze on the last lap. See if there is anything the Toro Rosso driver can do, as he's going to get a good run. Oh, but catches just a little bit understeer, and that might have ruined his only chance for an overtake. If I'm him, I'm sending it. I'm cutting the corner. Take the 10-second time penalty. But he does not, and he will stay right behind Easy Breeze. Maybe just wait to see what time penalties have to say about it. Money Hustard over, picking up a spot on Redeemer, who's destroyed his front wing. We can only assume that he bent it once again. But hats off to George the Fraud. P1, Indian Cyclone looking to finish P2, shortly followed by Ronan, who will pick up P2. What an absolute drive by him. Easy Breeze P4, Weiser Square P5, Indian Cyclone was P3. Here comes Tazonic and P6, followed by Money Hustard in 7th. LER Redeemer in 8th. Mix Fossitas in 9th. I take that back, that is P8 after penalties. And White Mike, who's getting hawked down at the last lap by George, and also Big Mr. Brown all make contact on the last lap. But that is P10 for the Toro Rosso driver, P11 for Big Mr. Brown, and P12 for George 1997. Oh man, what a race that was to commentate. 39 laps at Monaco, and it is all done there. Hats off to George the Fraud and Ronan as well in P2, followed by Indian Cyclone and the McLaren in P3. What a race by all those drivers. We'll see if we can get them in for some driver interviews before I have to hop on for our Xbox Division 1 race. Get George the Fraud in there. Let's get Ronan. Indian Cyclone as well. And we are joined by George the Fraud. So we're pretty short on time right now, so I'm just going to get our driver interview started right now with you. So qualified P1, finished P1. How does it feel after conquering Monaco tonight? Oh man, I don't doubt that. That was quite the race. I can tell you that. And yeah, we'll save that for post-race. I mean, on track, P1. And I mean, even if you do pick up some sort of time penalty, I mean, I think you were probably 12 seconds ahead from the rest of the pack at the end of the race, 12 or 14. Just something completely insane. So, I mean, hats off to you. We're also joined by Ronan, who ended up in P2. So, how does that feel for you, man? How was the race in your eyes?
It, I mean, it was Monaco, but it was all about, I felt like strategy. And when the safety car came out, just getting the look and making it work. But yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, and I mean, I think our last safety car there wasn't any wrecks. It was just a random safety car. But I mean, you as well as Jord, I mean, doing very well to adjust to the safety cars, and you finished P2, I believe. Easy Breeze had a little bit of a off at the latter stages of the race, which helped you advance up. But I mean, congrats to both of you guys. We're gonna have to cut this pretty short so we can get our D1 stream started. But to
Got
everyone
it.
viewing, thank you so much for viewing. And for you guys, congrats on the podium finish. We will see you next week at Canada.
Excellent.